Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's big message after terror attack: will identify, track and punish every terrorist. Vows punishment beyond imagination for Pahalgam attackers. India cancels all visas issued to Pakistani nationals. All visas invalid from April 27, while medical visas issued to Pakistani nationals valid till 29th of April. Indian advised against travelling to Pakistan. Foreign Secretary briefs envoys of various missions in India on the current developments. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will chair all-party meet on Pahalgam attack. Home Minister Amit Shah to attend. Sending a strong message, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has vowed that India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers. In his first public address after the Pahalgam terror attack, PM Modi said that those behind Pahalgam terror attack and those part of conspiracy will be punished beyond their imagination. He added that India's spirit will never be broken by terrorism and terrorism will not go unpunished.
From the soil of Bihar, I say to the whole world, India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers. We will pursue them to the ends of the earth. India's spirit will never be broken by terrorism. Terrorism will not go unpunished. Every effort will be made to ensure that justice is done. The entire nation is firm in this resolve. Everyone who believes in humanity is with us. I thank the people of various countries and their leaders who have stood with us in these times.
The centre has called an all-party meeting on Thursday in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will chair the session, while Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who returned from Kashmir on Wednesday, is expected to brief opposition leaders on the security situation and the leaders on the security situation and the government's response. The meeting will focus on security assessments, intelligence inputs and diplomatic steps taken following the attack. Foreign Secretary briefed the ambassadors of various missions in India on the current developments related to the terror attack. Diplomats of US, UK, EU, Italy, Qatar, Japan, China, Russia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Germany, France were those who were briefed on the Pahalgam terror attack at the South Block. Earlier, French Minister François-Noël Buffet condemned the Pahalgam attack. He also stressed that the strong India-France relationship and matters concerning the Rafale deal.
I would like to say on behalf of that we would like to express our sadness and our anger and also our solidarity in the face of this incident that has occurred. And it's in incidents like these that we need to express our solidarity and be together as nations to fight against terrorism. And I'd also like to send a thought out to the people who had lost their lives. And I'd like to say that we'll not let the people who did this go without any punishment. We'll fight against them together.
N'oublions pas, les choses sont très
We just have to say that this process is already established and we are very happy, and the arrival of the Rafale would not take a lot of time from now on.
Qui ne devrait pas tarder, comme on dit.
In continuation of the decisions made by the Cabinet Committee on Security in the wake of Pahalgam terror attack, the Government of India has decided to suspend visa services to Pakistani nationals with immediate effect. All existing valid visas issued by India to Pakistani nationals stand revoked with effect from 27th of April 2025. Medical visas issued to Pakistani nationals will be valid only till 29th of April 2025. All Pakistani nationals currently in India must leave India before the expiry of visas, as now amended. Indian nationals are strongly advised to avoid travelling to Pakistan. Those Indian nationals currently in Pakistan are also advised to return to India at the earliest. On Wednesday, India revoked all visas to Pakistani citizens granted under SAARC countries' visa scheme. Apart from big decisions regarding visa, India earlier took significant decisions recognizing the seriousness of this terrorist attack were taken. The Indus Waters Treaty of 1960 is being held in abeyance until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably abjures its support for cross-border terrorism. Further, the integrated checkpost Atari has been closed, while military advisors to Pakistan High Commission have been declared persona non grata, and officials at the Indian High Commission at Islamabad will be reduced from 55 to 30. Ahead of which, Home Affairs Minister Amit Shah and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar called on President Draupadi Murmu at Rashtrapati Bhavan. All right, DD India's Jessica Taneja joins us live. Hi, Jessica. Just now, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri briefed the ambassadors of various missions in India on the current developments related to the terror attack. Tell us something more about it.
That's correct, Siddharth. The Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri has briefed various ambassadors and heads of missions here in New Delhi about the terror attack that took place in Pahalgam in Kashmir. And of course, this is part of India's efforts, it's part of its diplomatic push to make sure that all its allies and all the countries that it enjoys bilateral ties with, apart from that, a relationship which should be apprised of the situation that India is faced with, especially a security situation of this proportion. So of course, that meeting took place a short while ago as we speak at South Block. And also, this is part of India's efforts, not just to, of course, brief the ambassadors here in New Delhi, but also make sure that its missions overseas are also going to brief the various foreign ministries of other countries, again, to make sure that they understand the kind of security situation India is surrounded when it comes to cross-border terrorism, something that India has been pointing out as a concern to all of its allies when it comes to tackling terrorism, and especially in hybrid form that we've seen unfold in Kashmir, in Pahalgam, the brutal attack that took the lives of 26 individuals, along with injuring many others. This is also going to continue to put India, in a sense, would continue to put that kind of pressure on Pakistan. We also talked about revoking visas. We heard from the Foreign Secretary just yesterday evening after he briefed the media about the Cabinet Committee on Security as to what all now action plan would sort of be put forth when it comes to the relationship with Pakistan and the action taken against state-sponsored terrorism. And of course, going into how the Indus Water Treaty will be held in abeyance, to diplomats who will now be expelled from the country. That includes the military, naval, air attaches who were here, as well as the Indian Navy air and military attaches in Islamabad will be recalled, and now the diplomat staff would be brought down further to 35 from the current strength of 55. Now remember, back in 2019 when the Pulwama terror attack took place on the CRPF convoy there, a similar diplomatic action was also seen from India's front very actively putting its point forward to its allies that this is the kind of situation they're faced with, and the cross-border terrorism does not seem to end. Well, there was peace in the last 6 years, and you've seen how various foreign delegations were also taken to Kashmir to see the calm and ease in the valley, but somehow that seemed to have been disrupted by actors who have decided that this is the moment and this is the kind of attention they'd want Kashmir to have, and not of a thriving economy that was seeing an uptick of almost 60,000 tourist footfall each year, and that certainly has impacted, apart from, of course, the grim and the somber mood in the valley, and of course the locals who now would suffer because of this ensuing violence.
Definitely, Jessica, locals would suffer, but you know, what's to notice here is the fact that people there are really brave. They are saying that, you know, whatever happened is really sad, but they cannot instill fear in our minds and hearts. This is something a very brave and a very good statement by the people of India. In the first step, Jessica, after dastardly attack in Pahalgam, you know, India's 5-pronged response, which it came out with, includes, you know, holding the 1960 Indus Waters Treaty, shutting the Atari-Wagah border, among others. India has downsides its diplomatic ties with Pakistan. Tell us more on this. What all areas are there?
That's correct. There were 4 major announcements made by the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri just last evening, wherein he said that the Indus Water Treaty, as you pointed out, will be held in abeyance. That effectively means that Pakistan, which of course will not be receiving the water, and of course there are issues and notifications that India had issued even last year for certain modifications in the Indus Water Treaty. But this is going to certainly have a major impact on the agricultural economy of the Punjab side of Pakistan, and certainly would pinch the farmers in more ways than one, and would affect the Shehbaz Sharif government to that effect. India knows that putting the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance would certainly hurt the right place, given the kind of cross-border terrorism and the concerns around that have been raised with the Pakistani establishment, not just of Shehbaz Sharif, but within Imran Khan previously, who's seen as even more anti-India perhaps than what we see in the current dispensation. But the remarks from the Army Chief Asim Munir have not gone down well at all, and perhaps a warning there that you know, with the kind of ranting spree that was witnessed in that address to the Pakistani audiences, the overseas Pakistani nationals who were present there certainly seem to have not gone out of context, but given a case in a nutshell that it has you know, the sponsorship of the Pakistan Army, and perhaps a deeper you know, levels of involvement with the deep state as well. And of course, India, on the other hand, is not going to stop short in terms of responding to this particular terror attack and the retaliation. Of course, the military retaliation one will not know, and one of course will not discuss on air in news, but from what we do understand, that there will be a stricter action this time. Last time we saw an attack and of a retaliation with the Balakot attacks, but now I think this time there will be a different level of escalation, an escalation perhaps that would point towards an example that this is a country that will not be attacked further by the same state-sponsored terrorists that India has been trying very hard to keep at bay and keep the valley thriving.
Definitely, you're right, Jessica, on this. It indeed was a heart-wrenching incident, what happened. Cowardly act, a heinous act of terrorism, in fact. But this time around, India will certainly show that it will not tolerate these kind of incidents. You're absolutely right. But I just want to know, Jessica, that what next is expected from India as far as the diplomatic ties are concerned, as far as the retaliation is concerned?
Well, you've already seen the briefing to Foreign Secretary's briefing to various ambassadors and heads of missions in the country to tell them and apprise them about the situation as we speak. And also, of course, we've seen the Indus Water Treaty that's been held in abeyance, cutting down diplomatic ties in a sense where the diplomatic staff, which was roughly around to the strength of 55, will now be only 30. That includes Indian High Commission in Islamabad as well, as well as the Pakistan High Commission here in India. And of course, keeping our allies from whom we've heard a lot of concern in the recent past, be it the United States of America or Israel or Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, from the German Chancellor, from the incoming German Chancellor Friedrich Merz to Mark Carney, the current Prime Minister of Canada. there have been, condolences pouring in, and of course condemning this dastardly attack. So there has been support internationally when it comes to this particular situation as India is faced with right now, the current security situation in the valley. At the same time, the diplomatic effort here is to ensure that the coercive diplomacy is at play, as it was back in 2019 when the dastardly Pulwama attacks took place in the CRPF convoy. So India would continue to put its situation forward when it comes to Kashmir, raising the issue even at the United Nations Security Council and various other UN agencies to let the world know that this is the kind of terror and violence India has been thwarting for nearly a quarter of a century or more, and its efforts continue to keep the valley economically thriving as well as the people happy.
All right, we leave it there. Thank you so much, Jessica, for your analysis. And now big news just coming in. Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi will visit Srinagar tomorrow. This is the breaking news. That is on Friday to review the security situation there in the wake of Pahalgam attack. This is the breaking news that we are getting for you. Top commanders of the local military formations will brief him on counter-terrorist measures taken by force in the valley and along the line of control. The 15 Corps commander and the Rashtriya Rifles formation commanders would be present during the visit. This is the big news that we are getting for you. We also have our correspondent Vishal Beristo joining us live. Hello Vishal, what latest are you getting us on this? General Upendra Dwivedi will visit Srinagar tomorrow to review the security situation there.
Well, absolutely. This is breaking news just coming in. It's been confirmed by the Ministry of Defence. The Army Chief would be visiting Srinagar. He is on a one-day visit to Srinagar, and this is coming at a time when Pahalgam is asking for justice, and we all know that it is this visit is going to be very, very important because it's been more than 24 hours now, and the combing operation is on. There are 3 counter-insurgency operations already continuing. We have already lost one of our soldiers. One terrorist has been neutralized, but his identity could not be revealed. Right now I'm here at the Sher-e-Kashmir International Conference Center, and here the all-party meeting is on since 3 p.m. and Chief Minister Umar Abdullah along with Farooq Abdullah, Sajjad Lone, and all the top leaders of different political parties, BJP, PDP, National Conference, they are here. The brainstorming session is on, but the arrival of Army Chief would definitely send a strong message across the border that India is not going to take any act of terror lightly, and the revenge is on the cards.
Definitely India will not take any such incident. India in fact will retaliate. The condemnation has come from various sections of the society. In fact, Vishal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said that the terrorist will not go unpunished. Whosoever is behind this dastardly attack will not go unpunished. Everyone condemned this attack and promised in fact India that they will be brought to justice. Now Vishal, you are in Srinagar. You just told us that an all-party meeting is going on. Can you tell us about what is expected out of it?
Well, shortly we are expecting a statement on behalf of all the parties, and what all has been discussed and what is the future course of action. We are expecting. The weather has certainly turned bad, and it's quite windy and cold here.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's been more than 2 hours now. So we are expecting an answer from the government as to what the government and the opposition they have decided as to how to take things forward, because this is the first time that terrorists have been attacked in cold blood, and this cannot be taken lightly. Definitely it's a big question mark over the Umar Abdullah government itself. So definitely the Chief Minister is a worried lot, and we will have to wait for some time before the statement comes out, but definitely they all have to be on the same page. As Umar Abdullah was saying, that this is no time for politics, but we need to stick together.
Okay, Vishal. All right, Vishal.
And we need to stand. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. We leave it there. The security agencies have already released sketches of 3 suspected terrorists involved in the attack. The police said that any information leading to the neutralization of terrorists involved in the cowardly attack will be rewarded. The 3 terrorists identified by Jammu and Kashmir police are Hashim Musa alias Suleiman Ali Bhai alias Talha Bhai and Adil Hussain Thokar. Various Indian ministries in the government of India started chipping in with their retaliation to the terror attack. Information and Broadcasting Ministry sources have said that the movie Aber Gulal, starring Pakistani actor Fawad Khan, will not be allowed to release in India. With the movie, Fawad Khan was slated for a comeback to the Indian screens. The movie was set to release on 9th of May. This is the information that we are getting for you. Various Indian ministries started chipping in with their retaliation to the terror attack, and Information and Broadcasting Ministry sources have said that the movie Aber Gulal, starring actor Fawad Khan, will not be released in India. India has also decided to keep Indus Water Treaty in abeyance until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably abjures its support for cross-border terrorism. The treaty, which is one of the most comprehensive water sharing agreements globally, gives control over the waters of the 3 eastern rivers, the Beas, Ravi and Satluj. India can stop sharing flood data on the rivers, and it could prove detrimental to Pakistan. Looking at the impacts in the sector of agriculture, Pakistan's crops will face major water shortage. Indus water is vital for wheat, rice, cotton cultivation. India has gained edge in basmati exports. The cotton output drop can hit the textiles. Punjab farmers in India will be benefited as the canal irrigation will give a big boost to Indian farmers. If you see in terms of drinking water now, Indus remains a key source for Pakistan's drinking water. Islamabad will face a 30% water shortage after the announcement. India can also hold glacier water till September, while Punjab's Sindh water feud may intensify. In the sector of hydropower and energy, power plants are at risk due to water cuts. Tarbela Dam has only 30 feet water. The load shedding threat remains across Pakistan cities, while Pakistan may need costly coal imports. The abeyance is in the water treaty can cause internal instability as water, food, power crisis, fuels discontent, and can trigger public unrest due to economic stress. Pakistan is likely to raise the issue globally as the treaty suspension hits regional waters politics in the longer run. Food security remains at risk for millions. Urban unrest is likely to taps run dry. The power outages could cripple key industries and result in rural migration job loss. As India puts Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance and other measures in response to the Pahalgam terror attack, defence expert Praful Bakshi has commended the government's move and said that the decision will impact people of Pakistan more.
This has not worked well for Pakistan, and Pakistan is asking for it. Indus Water Treaty means a lot for the people. And if that is held in abeyance, and then your commercial visa, etc., your travel visa, etc., has been stopped, have been blocked, what is left for our Pakistani youth and people who are always wanting to come to India? Open up the doors, cultural door, education door, they visit sports, cricket, all those things, business. That's what they look forward to.
The integrated checkpost at Amritsar Atari has been closed with immediate effect in the wake of Pahalgam terrorist attack, as announced by government on Wednesday night. Pakistani nationals who have crossed over with valid endorsements have to return through that route before 1st of May 2025. A calibrated decision has also been taken to scale down ceremonial display during the retreat ceremony at Atari. The key changes include suspension of the symbolic handshake of Indian Guard Commander with the counterpart Guard Commander. Gates will remain closed during the ceremony. Indian security forces are on high alert across Jammu and Kashmir following the dastardly Pahalgam attack and based on intelligence trying to nab terrorists. Indian Army is carrying out Operation Burli Gali in Dudu Basantgarh area of Udhampur. Encounter between Indian Army, J&K police and terrorists is based on specific intelligence. In initial exchange of fire, one Indian soldier was martyred. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh in a tweet said that, and I quote, keeping a close track of an armed encounter going on in the Dudu Basantgarh area of district Udhampur. Locals are urged to stay calm and remain indoors. Our security forces are fully capable of defeating the enemy's designs. My deepest condolences and salute to Havaldar Jantu Ali Sheikh, who has made the supreme sacrifice during this operation. While in South Kashmir's Pahalgam district, search operation is underway in the Tangmarg area following the last evening's exchange of fire between terrorists and security forces in the area. The cordon and search operation had been launched on Wednesday evening based on inputs about presence of terrorists in the area. The anti-terrorist operation by a joint team of Army, CRPF and J&K police was resumed with the first light of this morning. The operation was suspended late last night due to the darkness. Till now, no contact has been established with the terrorists while search operation is going on in the forest area. All entry and exit points have been sealed. While according to sources, security forces have also launched a cordon and search operation to track suspected terrorists in forest areas of Poonch district. Sources say the search operation is ongoing in Lazana forest belt of district following inputs about suspected terrorists hiding in the area. There was an exchange of fire between security forces and terrorists on April 14 in the Lazana area. Once bustling with tourists and vibrant businesses, the picturesque Pahalgam region of Jammu and Kashmir has now plunged into a future of uncertainty after the horrific terror attack. The incident has left many in the local tourism industry in distress, casting a shadow over their only source of livelihood.
हमारी प्रायोरिटी जो है, जो निहत्ते लोगों की जाने गई है, हम इसको अपने कारोबार के हिसाब से नहीं लेते हैं। जो हमने कल की जो बंद की कॉल दी, जो हमने कल बंद की कॉल दी थी, तो 20 तारीख को इनके साथ यकजहती के तौर पे जो निहत्ते इंसान जान बहक हुए हैं, जिनको बेदर्दी से कत्ल किया गया, उसके खिलाफ हमने ये एहतजाज रखा था। हमने अपने कारोबार हमारा इससे मुतासिर हुआ है, उसके खिलाफ हड़ताल की कॉल नहीं दी थी।
साथ नहीं जोड़ते, इस जो ये पूरा ये जो लुबी लुबाब है इसका, उसको हम रोजगार के साथ नहीं जोड़ते, हम इंसानियत के साथ जोड़ते हैं। क्योंकि रोजगार, रिजिक तो अल्लाह के हाथ में है, अल्लाह देगा रिजिक, जिसको वो पैदा करता है रिजिक देगा। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी बात है कि जो हिंदुस्तान या इस मुल्क से या बैरून मुल्कों से इवन डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट भी यहाँ आता है, वो एक सोच लेके आते हैं यहाँ के कुछ जिंदगी की बेहतर पल वो यहाँ गुजारेंगे। और जब उनको यहाँ पे कुछ उस तरह की ट्रेजेडी होती है जो उनके दिमाग में होता है, नेचुरली उनको तकलीफ लगता है और उनसे ज़्यादा हमें तकलीफ लगा है। हम उन्हें खाली टूरिस्ट ही नहीं समझते, हम उनको अपने फैमिली मेम्बर समझते।
पूरा पहलगाम ठप हुआ है, हम मजम्मत करते हैं, लिहाजा आइंदा ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। पहलगाम इस वक्त पूरा लॉस है। हम इस पर मतलब यहाँ के गरीब लोग थे, अपना रोजी रोटी कमाता था, इनकी वजह इनकी बेचारे को बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो गया है।
And still to come on DD India Live. We bring you the strength of grassroots governance of rural India on National Panchayati Raj Day. PM Modi launches various development projects on the occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates India Steel 2025, the 6th edition of the biennial international exhibition and conference. And explore India's cutting-edge drones designed for defense, surveillance and reconnaissance. These drones are on display at Millipole, India 2025.
We explore various ways in which the delicate balance between urban development and environmental responsibility can be found.
We should have a target today that a minimal certain percentage of land must protected as for agricultural and horticultural purposes.
Our urban agriculture programs are designed to tackle food security and meet the nutritional needs of the poor.
In future, caves will become more attractive as they have a direct impact on the fight against climate change.
The government is going to implement a scrapping policy designed to take old polluting vehicles off the road to reduce India's carbon footprint. So we are converting existing petrol motorcycles and scooters into electric ones.
Tamil Nadu is breathtaking, enchanting, divine, come. Revel in the spirit of Tamil Nadu. The Thalaiva of States welcomes you to an experience larger than life.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. A young bride, married just 6 days ago, stood beside the tricolour draped coffin of her husband. A Navy officer fell by terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam on April 22nd and whispered a goodbye that the nation will not forget. Lieutenant Vinay Narwal, who was commissioned in Indian Navy, was killed by terrorists while he was on his honeymoon with his wife, Himanshi.
This is the image that will haunt India for many, many years. Himanshi Narwal sitting in shock and stoic silence beside the dead body of her husband in Pahalgam. Dreams of a married life that had just begun, brutally shattered in just 6 days as her husband was killed in front of her. On Wednesday afternoon, Narwal's mortal remains were brought to the IGI airport in Delhi in a casket draped in tricolour from Kashmir. The visuals of her tribute to 26-year-old Lieutenant Vinay Narwal of the Indian Navy filled the wailing hearts with the silence of compassion and anger at the same time. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta, who was also present, also saluted the coffin and spoke to Himanshi, condoling her loss. Entire India is shocked and stoic watching these images, with emotions oscillating between sheer anger and heartfelt condolences. Narwal had been serving at the Southern Naval Command in Kochi for the past 1.5 years. He was married on April 16. The duo wanted to go to Switzerland, but visa delays sent them to Pahalgam instead. Narwal was on leave and vacationing in Kashmir when he was fatally shot in the attack. The memories of marriage were still fresh in everyone's mind when the tragedy befell, and now everything lies in shatters.
हमारे पड़ोस में ही है नरवाल जी। अभी शादी हुई थी इनकी, 4 दिन पहले रिसेप्शन थी। सारी गली में खुशी का माहौल था। ये जानकारी मिली कि आतंकवादियों ने उनको पूछ के गोली मार दी है।
Narwal is survived by his father Rajesh Narwal, an employee in the excise department. His mother, Asha Narwal, his sister Srishti, and his grandfather Hawa Singh. Hawa Singh said that he is confident that if his brave grandson was not shot, he would have killed at least 2-3 terrorists.
मुझे यकीन है क्यों वो अगर वो ऐसे गोली ना लगती तो शायद 2-4 आदमियों को तो वैसे ही पछाड़ देता। इतनी उसमें गुंजाइश। शादी तो 16 तारीख की थी और 19 तारीख की रिसेप्शन थी। आज 3 दिन के बाद ये मातम फैल गया।
Earlier in the day, Navy Chief Admiral Tripathi paid tribute to Lieutenant Vinay Narwal in a post on X. The Navy also expressed its thoughts and prayers for the families of the victims and wished a speedy recovery to those injured. The last rites were held in evening in Karnal, where Narwal's wife broke down and stood inconsolable at the funeral. Haryana Chief Minister Naib Singh Saini, fellow officers, family members, and other key dignitaries were present. The Navy personnel offered a gun salute as mortal remains were consigned to flames. Bureau Report, DD India.
The attack also claimed the lives of tourists from West Bengal. Among the victims were Sameer Guha and Bitan Adhikari from West Bengal, IB officer Manish Ranjan Mishra, Prashant Kumar Satpathy from Odisha, and Indian Air Force officer from Arunachal Pradesh, Corporal Hailyang. Families have been torn apart. That's what terrorism does to a nation.
Sameer Guha from West Bengal came to Kashmir to spend a few peaceful days with his wife and daughter. His family had no idea that a day before returning home, their entire world would crumble and change forever. His daughter, who grew up holding his hand, had to endure what no daughter should ever have to. Watch the father who had promised the world to her being killed in cold blood. The childhood memories of laughter and happiness are now forever blanketed by his gruesome killing. Sameer's death has left a void that will never be filled. Also from West Bengal, Manish Ranjan Mishra was an officer in the Intelligence Bureau. Posted in Hyderabad, he had taken a short trip to Pahalgam to soak in the serene, soothing environs and take a breather from his hectic schedules. Now he is no more and has left a family whose world has stopped in a moment. In Jhalda, West Bengal, his family is inconsolable. His home, once filled with his laughter and purpose, now only echoes death, agony, and misery. From a humble background, Prashant Kumar Satpathy from Odisha saved for months altogether to give his wife and their little boy a first real vacation. He was killed in front of his wife and son. The family chose Kashmir with its perfect settings to make it the most memorable holiday. Instead, it has now become a nightmare that may never leave them. The little boy now asks where his father went, and no one has any words that can give a complete answer. Corporal Tage Hailang had only started his new life with his wife. He was young and serving his country with pride. The terrorists stopped them, asked him his religion, and then shot him in front of the woman he had just promised to be forever with. Tage's family in Arunachal Pradesh is also left with just memories and utter anguish and torment. Bitan Adhikari had built a life in Florida, USA, but India was always home for him. He came back with his wife and their little son Hirdan to show them where his heart actually belonged. They planned to return to the US on April 24th, and 2 days before boarding the flight, his life and all the happiness of his family was brutally cut short. His wife and the little boy now stare at a life without him. His 3-year-old son may be too young to understand death, but is actually old enough to feel the absence of his father. Bureau Report, DD India.
The attack in the Pahalgam region of Jammu and Kashmir has left 3 tourists from Karnataka dead. Manjunath Rao from Shivamogga, Bharat Bhushan and Madhusudan Rao, both from Bengaluru.
What was meant to be a peaceful family vacation in Jammu and Kashmir turned into a nightmare when terrorists brutally took their lives.
Bharat Bhushan from Bengaluru was shot dead by terrorists while visiting Pahalgam with his wife and 3-year-old son. His wife Sujata and their child survived. Sujata's mother was inconsolable.
My daughter called me a short while ago. She said she's safe at an army camp and will go to the hospital to claim her husband's body once her brother reaches Pahalgam. She told me the shooting happened right in front of her.
In Shivamoga, Manjunath Rao's wife Pallavi mourning the loss of her husband. The mortal remains of Manjunath Rao were sent to his hometown in Shivamoga, while those of Bharat Bhushan were taken to his residence in Methikere. The remains of the third victim from Karnataka, Madhusudan, were transported to his native place in Nellore. At the Bengaluru airport, MP Tejasvi Surya, along with Railway MOS V. Somanna, offered their tributes. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah spoke to the grieving families. The Karnataka government has announced an ex gratia of 10 lakh rupees each to the next of kin of the deceased. Bureau Report, DD India.
Shailesh Kalathia, a resident of Surat city of Western Indian state Gujarat, tragically lost his life in the terror attack that occurred in Pahalgam on Tuesday. His son, Naksh Kalathia, recounted the harrowing experience.
हम कश्मीर में पहलगाम में गए थे. हमने पहलगाम में 5 पॉइंट देखे थे. उसमें जो मिनी स्विट्जरलैंड है सबसे टॉप वाला था. उधर हम गए थे. जब वो आतंकवादी ज़्यादा गोली मारे हैं तब सबको पता चला कि टेररिस्ट घुसा है, तो हम छुप गए. उन लोगों ने ढूंढ लिया. हमको तो वो 2 दिखे थे और एक ने आके बोला मुसलमान अलग हो जाओ और हिंदू अलग हो जाओ, और बोला 3 बार कलाम बोला. और मुसलमान लोगों को लैंग्वेज आती थी, उन लोगों ने 3 बार मुसलमान बोला और जो नहीं बोला उसे गन से उड़ा दिया.
Indian Navy's latest indigenous guided missile destroyer INS Surat successfully carried out a precision cooperative engagement of a sea skimming target, marking another milestone in strengthening our defense capabilities. This achievement demonstrates India's growing prowess in indigenous warship design, development and operations, and underscores the nation's commitment to self-reliance in defense manufacturing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone and dedicated to the nation multiple development projects in Madhubani, Bihar on the occasion of National Panchayati Raj Day. Addressing the gathering, PM Modi said that the day celebrates the strength of grassroots governance and the spirit of self-reliance that powers rural India. He added that in the last decade, several measures have been taken to empower panchayats. Panchayats have been strengthened through technology.
भारत के गांव मजबूत नहीं होंगे तब तक भारत का तेज विकास नहीं हो पाएगा. देश में पंचायती राज की परिकल्पना के पीछे यही भावना है. बीते दशक में पंचायतों को सशक्त करने के लिए एक के बाद एक कदम उठाए गए. टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से भी पंचायतों को मजबूत किया गया. बीते दशक में 2 लाख से ज्यादा ग्राम पंचायतों को इंटरनेट से जोड़ा गया.
April 24th is not just another date on the calendar. It marks a pivotal chapter in India's democratic journey. National Panchayati Raj Day celebrates the strength of grassroots governance and the spirit of self-reliance that powers rural India. This year, the nation commemorates the 32nd anniversary of the 73rd Constitutional Amendment. The spotlight is firmly on inclusive and women-led development at the village level. Take a look at this report.
National Panchayati Day 2025 honors the day when the 73rd Constitutional Amendment came into force in 1993, granting constitutional status to Panchayati Raj institutions across India. Celebrated annually since 2010, this day underscores the vital role of local self-governments in shaping India's rural transformation. The roots of Panchayati Raj run deep in India's history, dating back to the ancient village councils. Post-independence, it was formalized as a three-tier system, having the Gram Panchayat, the Panchayat Samiti and the Zila Parishad. But the turning point came in 1992 with the passage of the 73rd Amendment, empowering these institutions to govern, plan and implement development on their own terms. This year, women takes the center stage. In March, the Ministry of Panchayati Raj hosted a national convention on model women-friendly Gram Panchayats in New Delhi. The goal? At least one model women and girl-friendly panchayat in every district. A step forward in institutionalizing gender-sensitive governance. With over 14.5 lakh women serving in nearly 2.63 lakh panchayats, India leads in female political participation at the grassroots. The recent Shashakt Panchayat Netri Abhiyan aims to further strengthen leadership capacity and create empowered, community-driven governance. Dibyendu Mondel's report for DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated India Steel 2025, the 6th edition of the biennial international exhibition and conference via video conferencing on Thursday, calling steel as a primary component in the growth of many sectors. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the government's policies for the steel industry are playing a crucial role in making many other Indian industries globally competitive. The event brings together leading stakeholders from across the global steel value chain to discuss the future trajectory of the sector with a sharp focus on growth, sustainability, resilience and innovation.
स्टील कितने ही सेक्टर्स की ग्रोथ का प्राइमरी कंपोनेंट है, इसलिए स्टील इंडस्ट्री के लिए सरकार की नीतियां भारत की दूसरी कई इंडस्ट्रीज को ग्लोबली कॉम्पिटिटिव बनाने में अहम रोल अदा कर रही है। हमारा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर, कंस्ट्रक्शन, मशीनरी और ऑटोमोटिव सेक्टर, आज इन सबको भारतीय स्टील इंडस्ट्री से शक्ति मिल रही है। इस बार बजट में हमारी सरकार ने मेक इन इंडिया को गति देने के लिए नेशनल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मिशन की भी घोषणा की है। ये मिशन स्मॉल, मीडियम और लार्ज सभी इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए है। नेशनल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मिशन भी हमारी स्टील इंडस्ट्री के लिए नए अवसर खोलेगा।
Iskcon Bengaluru witnessed the celebration of its 28th Foundation Day. On the occasion, the temple organized a festival called Brahmotsav that concluded on 23rd of April. Our correspondent Deepika had an exclusive interaction with the National President of Akshaya Patra Foundation, Bharat Shabha Dasa, who told us about world's tallest Iskcon temple in Vrindavan, 25 years of Akshaya Patra Foundation and the 28th Foundation Day of Iskcon Bengaluru.
With me, Bharat Shabha Das, who is the National President of Akshaya Patra Foundation as well as the Senior Vice President of the Chandrodaya Temple, Vrindavan. Our global audience would like to know about the Brahmotsav and considering the importance and significance of Iskcon Bengaluru.
See, Brahmotsav means Brahman ka Utsav, that is Para Brahman, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Absolute Truth who is there in the spiritual world, his festival. This Brahmotsav is a celebration of the day on which this deity was installed. This temple was inaugurated in 1997. It was the birth centenary celebrations of Srila Prabhupada, Iskcon's founder and Acharya. So on that time this was inaugurated. So this is the 28th year of the temple. So to celebrate that, we are having the Brahmotsavam.
The Chandrodaya Temple, which is the highest and the tallest temple that the world is going to witness there in Vrindavan. How are the preparations going on for that?
We are building the world's tallest temple. As you know, Vrindavan is like the spiritual capital of the, I can say, the world in one sense. The vision behind it is that, you see, we want to bring Vrindavan to the world map. We can call it, it's a Bhakti University, you can call it, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the person who resurrected Vrindavan in 15th century, Krishna's birthplace. We have completed the first phase now Of course, the interiors are going on. We are going to have a formal inauguration shortly of the first phase, which is like the south block of the temple. The main block is still getting ready. If everything goes well, by Lord Krishna's grace, 2028, we wish to inaugurate the main temple itself.
The Akshaya Patra Foundation, it is creating a new milestone every now and then. And we've also heard the fact that you've served there at the United Nations Security Council as well. That has also been one of the landmark achievements for India, and especially Iskcon. Tell us more about that.
As you know, Annadanam is a very strong tradition in every temple. Anybody who comes is fed without any this one. So we thought, why not extend it beyond the temple? So we took it to schools, nearby schools, government schools. At that time, there was no formalized midday meal program. So we just started in nearby schools in Bengaluru with 5 schools and 1,500 students. We started feeding. Vision is that no child should be deprived of education because of hunger. So that's why we are feeding in all government schools. And we want to now increase next. We are planning mainly that our mission will be by 2030 touch 5 lakh children. Wow. That is 5 million children every day. To feed. That is our thing.
There you heard that how Akshaya Patra Foundation is creating new milestone because eradicating hunger and promoting education for all, and that too for free, and that too at a comfort level is what the mission is of Akshaya Patra, in line with the mission and vision of the Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. With camera person Pramod Negi, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Iskcon, Bengaluru.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates on DD India mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on your screen to download it. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.